Welcome to the Oracle Report for the month of April 2025. Thanks for tuning in today. So if this is your first time, want to welcome you and just share a little bit about what this is about. So I come on here every fourth Sunday, typically towards the end of the month, to give, share, offer some of the collective wisdom, messages, etc., that have come in. And typically that's through readings. There are often themes, threads of energy that are similar in the readings, messages that are really wanting to come through on a collective level. So sometimes there, sometimes through dreams, sometimes through channeling or astrology. And the idea is to allow this information to guide, to align, to help you in your soul's journey, especially focusing in the upcoming month. Like, what energies do you need to navigate to really be aligned to your highest good? So that's the intention, and that's what we bring forth here. And I also share a card for the collective for the upcoming month. And then we finish with the possibility, if desired, for live mini readings for anyone who is present. So I just ask that you listen, take all of the messages in with an open heart and an open mind, and receive what resonates. Feel free to leave the rest, or just let it simmer, because sometimes there might be pieces that you don't quite understand now, but you might realize throughout the month a way that they click in or they apply to you. And there's really unique ways that these messages could apply since they're collective. They could be really literal, they could be really personal, or you could witness them outside of yourself and not feel so personal. Or it might be this really kind of creative representation of the way that energy shows up for you. There's different percentages for each of us and the way that they'll show up or how intense they'll be. Yeah, so listen, be open, see what stands out, and thanks for joining. So I'll start off by pulling a card. I've been giving that method a try, pulling the card first, and really enjoying that. And today I'm pulling from the Lightworker Oracle deck. So this is a Alana Fairchild deck. I really love her energy and her explanation. So I work with her decks quite a bit. I don't think I've used this one yet, though. So yeah, let's see what we got here for the month of April for the collective. Okay, well, I have two that popped out here. The first one that was on top is the power of the divine masculine. So I have that there. And that actually does fit quite well with some of the messages I have for today. And the second one is the pink rose of Lady Nada. Really pretty. Okay. So I'll give a little read of each of these cards. So first, power of the divine masculine. An empowering energy seeks expression from within. It wishes to free you from confusion, paralysis, and stagnancy. It seeks to stir you into consciously chosen action, greater discipline, and focus. It's time to end the frustration of repeating old patterns. You are ready to break through into a new way of life. Feel inspired, be energized, and focus on your dreams and desires. Take steps to manifest them on the physical plane. Believe in your success. Believe that it's inevitable. The divine masculine in you knows when to accept and when to say no to a belief, fear, habit, person, or situation. This divine masculine energy exists within all people, all men and women. It rallies the spirit and responds in times when you may feel drained, taken advantage of, or overwhelmed by too many choices and demands. It cuts through the confusion that comes with choice and priority setting. It refuses to be distracted and keeps you from being dissuaded from your life's purpose. The divine masculine is growing within you now. It is the spiritual light that reveals the truth without filters or veils. Let this energy clear distractions, demands, and drama from your life. Let it help you discern what is best for you and give you the courage to act on it. Let it help you sort out what is true from what is illusion. And let it help you dedicate your time and energy to what has the most meaning and value for you. It will empower you to claim success in what matters most. Okay, I'm going to pause there. There's a lot more. So I will take a picture like usual and post that into the Sacred Lights collective message board there, so you can read the full description. But that's good for now, and it really aligns beautifully with a lot of the messages that have come through for this month. So let's listen to the next card here, Pink Rose of Lady Nada, which feels like a really good balance to the divine masculine energetic here. You are in the midst of a heart healing, a healing of the fears and anxieties that have held you back from enjoying your full magnificence. Lady Nada is here with all of her gentle power, washing you in a soft pink light. All anger, fear, sadness, bitterness, disappointment, and hurt are soothed and loved into peace. She brings you a sign of your future blossoming into deeper love. The pink rose of Lady Nada is a spiritual gift from higher guidance. It brings love, healing, strength, and compassion to your heart. You may be burnt out or feeling anger, fear, depression, chronic fatigue, or compromised wellness. Perhaps your heart is so tired that you struggle with compassion fatigue, finding it difficult to care, even though your nature is one of deep compassion and kindness. Or perhaps you have put your heart and soul into something or someone and feel your efforts have been cast aside or taken for granted. Perhaps you are processing a great loss. Whatever the reason, Lady Nada has come to comfort your soul. Your pain will pass and your suffering will be alleviated sooner and more gently than you might expect. Okay, I'll pause there. And again, take a picture so you can read the rest of those explanations. But I like how that weaves in as well. I feel these are kind of two angles of the same energetic message that's been coming forward, which is about this kind of like the clearing away of distortion, the clearing away of the energies that are here and present with a lot of us, where we might be feeling fear, anxiety, hopelessness, grief, depression, overwhelm, confusion. I think that these two aspects, kind of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, um, are energies that are coming in to help heal that for each of us. So we each find that in a different way. We all find it from the place that we sit. So what do we need from this kind of heart healing, compassion, kindness, maybe towards self-love, and the softening Um, it could be that we need to give ourselves a break from trying to figure things out or efforting, and that will give us the peace that we need to find that alignment again. So our feminine energy is strong. And then on the other side of it, what do we need for the divine masculine piece or our own masculine energy? What clarity do we need to bring into our energetic field to clear away any distortions, to clear away maybe places that we're putting our energy that aren't really serving us or others, that keep us kind of bogged down in some of the suffering or the density, or the patterns that yeah, feels like are alive for many right now. Um, yeah, so those fit really beautifully into some of the messages. Let's get started. So I will start with this message here that really aligns well. What I was hearing was about there being kind of a lot of deception and a lot of, I think last month, what one of the pieces that came through was a lot of information. There's just a ton of information out there in the world, and it's hard to clear through it all. Um, the word particularly that was coming forward as a focus for this month is not just too much information, but deception or information that's been removed from good, been removed a bit, separated somehow, somewhere along the chain of that information from the light, from the divine, um, in various ways, without judgment of that. But what this creates in the end, what the product of it is, what the fruits of that are kind of this deception or distortions in information. And the guides were bringing particular attention to this and our need to tend to a few pieces so that we're not engaging with deceptive information or taking it into our own beliefs, and we're able to discern the difference. So then our field doesn't get kind of filled up with confusion or anxiety or fear or any of those other energies that we were just naming before. We want clarity and we want connection. We want to be connected to our intuition, and we want to have a clear mind. We want to be well considered. We want to tend to ourselves, nourish ourselves so that we can have that clarity in our energy. So, guides are talking about energetic clarity being a really important place to put some of our attention and our awareness, maybe asking ourselves some questions, doing like a little inventory of our own energy, our own energetic clarity in particular, and our discernment, um, to see if there are places that we can um, clean up, that we could bring more love, that we could bring more truth, more alignment, more of our own integrity to, more light to. One of the questions that was coming forward is this question of where am I putting my energy? Um, and what energy am I allowing in my field? And energy can come in many different forms. So we can be looking at our emotions, we can be looking at thoughts, we can internally, our or personally, or on the outside of us. So what am I interacting with? And what do I put my mental energy towards, my emotional energy towards, my spiritual energy, my physical energy? Um, where we're putting that usually grows as a general rule. So starting to kind of take a look at to create more energetic clarity, and this is especially aligned to the divine masculine side of the gifts coming in for April and what we're working with within ourselves, that masculine kind of being able to clarify, cut through, find what the structures are, the boundaries, um, discerning between what we want in our energetic field, where our boundaries need to be, that helps us to stay connected to our spirit, to the light, to what is really of the highest good for us. So there's this opportunity for us to work with that. There's some doorways opening, some energetics opening, and there's been this kind of pressure that's been created for so many of us in our lives, where we're seeing a buildup of those things just mentioned, like anger, fear, anxiety, confusion. There's a buildup of that, which has taken us to this next place of, okay, now we need to clear out. We need to see what adjustments we need to make for ourselves. Because even if we've done this before, we're here. We're right now, and we've never ever been in this body in this time. This is a precious, unique moment that calls for us to be honoring that with our awareness in the present. Um, okay. So might also be good to check in with your energy hygiene practices, your self-care. How are you keeping yourself clear and aligned and not bogged down by some of that difficulty that's within or around us? One of the big things that the guides were talking about is uh, just that we want to make sure that we are centered to our own light and we don't lose um, the joy, and we don't stop celebrating, that we remember that regardless of what we see in the world, or the very real anxieties, fears, etc., distortions that come up, that we experience and we interact with, and the harm that we see being caused, the suffering, that with all of that, we don't let that bring us into a place where we separate out from love, from truth, from our spirit, from the light, from that we remember that is what is most powerful. That's what matters most. And we choose to bring it in somehow, dance, maybe sing, bring in that lightness. Don't stop celebrating. Don't lose hope. Don't let all of those heavy energies bring you so far down that you don't bring that back. Um, okay. So they were also talking about intuition and saying there's a bit of an importance for us to lean into that more, especially with just so much information out in the world and so much distortion and deception. Um, we can't always rely on our minds to figure everything out. Although a lovely, beautiful tool, we also need to be listening to our gut, our intuition, and our hearts. I heard somewhere that, I don't know if I've shared this before, but that the heart will give us an answer. I think it's like 6 seconds before the mind does. And when I'm talking about like our clear centered heart, not the kind of waves of emotion and experience that we all go through, but that sort of wise centered, um, electromagnetic, energetic heart that we have, which connects us to deep wisdom. the deep wisdom that resides in our spirit and that resides in the all. Um, so there's kind of an invitation to, in processing what these past few months have brought up for us, April's a good time to revisit first energetic clarity, because if you're listening to your intuition or your heart, or trying to listen to that, tune into that wisdom, and your energy isn't clear, you have maybe all of these beliefs or emotions, whether yours or others, in your field somehow, that might influence um, your, it's not your intuition, it's more like your access to it or your experience of it. So if you clear yourself out first, then access your intuition or your heart's wisdom, um, it will be clear and not distorted by those other pieces that could actually just end up making you more confused. And sometimes we get kind of pulled in between all of those forces, and that's why we might start to feel like, oh, my intuition's pulling me in this direction, but doesn't feel quite right, or this thing isn't working out. When it starts to get like that, sometimes it can be an indication that what you first need is that clearing, that energetic clarity first, and then it will make a bit more sense about really what is in the highest for you. So a little bit of energy in that direction of listening to your heart and your intuition and trusting it a bit more, especially if you're like, hey, I've been doing my work, I've been practicing really great energy hygiene, clearing myself out, showing up to that for a long time, and my intuition has led me in a good direction. You have some of that trust there, and if you're really clear, um, lean into it a little bit more. Or how can you lean into your intuition a bit more? Because it's going to give you information that is more built out, deep, true, um, than just what the mind can bring in. Okay. All right. So this other piece that was coming forward is about some particular work with the divine masculine, um, and work with clearing out those distortions, creating maybe new or clarified boundaries, and also like letting go of things from the past. There's this energy of, there's been a lot of transformation lately, and there might be some things that are falling away. And the divine masculine is kind of coming in to restructure and re-clarify um, a direction. And there's also this piece about um, checking in about where your power lies and if you're giving away your power. So they're discussing something about energy moving around a masculine wound within our collective. So it's not just one person, but this is something that's on a bigger energetic level about giving our power away. And um, there's an opportunity in April to, because of this energetic opening of addressing some of this wound, kind of pull that power back into ourselves. You're like, well, and the energetic clarity piece, those practices that help us get our energy clear, and the listening to our heart, listening to our intuition, those are both practices that help to pull our power back within. So we have our own sovereignty, our own authority, and we're not, although, we're all connected, we learn from each other, we grow in relationship, and it's really wonderful and beautiful. that power, that sovereignty always should really reside within us, and it's each of our own job to kind of find that in ourselves, that clarity, and hold our power there, and not give it away for others to figure out. So they're talking about how there's some energy movement here, and we all might be grappling with different aspects of this and how it applies to us and how it applies or how it's played out in the world, um, and the ways that we have felt powerless. And this kind of question about like, where does power really come from? And how do I show up to this distortion or wounding where power has been taken away? Um, because we all want to contribute to, I mean, I believe, uh, especially people here, we want to contribute to something good. We want to contribute to um, each of us being respected and empowered. Um, and if we get too pulled in to certain aspects of that, like maybe the grief about the harm that is caused from power going outside or from being powerless, um, if we get too pulled into that, then our energy might not be going in a direction that is forwarding, really finding power. So um, it's just kind of piece of where am I putting my energy with that and what subtle ways. So the guides are explaining it as it's not always even a big action that you need to do, but it's an inside job, an internal process that we each can choose to show up to, of holding our power within and letting that guide our actions to help heal this collective wound around this. Um, yeah, so I think that's all with that piece. Energy up there. Um, so another next message we have, um, guides are talking about working with electrical, magnetic, and electrical and magnetic energy and frequency, um, as almost like a health practice that will help to remove some of the distortions and deceptions that are in our worlds or in our field. Um, they're saying that, and they showed it as almost these like little interruptions with electrical energy, magnetic energy, and our frequency. And the invitation was to bring awareness, like, okay, you have an electromagnetic field, you have a frequency that you are, and you are the one who's in charge of it and who can take care of it. And what helps to bring your electromagnetic energy and your frequency into an aligned, healthy, whole state. Um, so typically, just to answer that, to give you a few ideas, if you don't have any, um, like being in nature, and even, of course, sound healing, and considering like what travels through the air frequency wise, so like Wi-Fi and radio waves, or what's around you, what do you expose yourself to, and then the other side of it is, well, in what you expose yourself to. So a lot of those things are dense and they kind of interrupt our energy. So measures to limit that, and on the other side, exposing yourself to giving yourself time with things that lift you up, clear you out, help you feel healthy and whole, such as being in nature, or working with plants or animals or children, or even just, yeah, dancing again, or singing, or doing something that brings you joy to start to shift your energy, your frequency. um, and color can, or physical things in your environment. um yeah, so the invitation there was to bring some awareness to your own electrical and magnetic health and your frequency health, to help remove the distortions. Um, they said there was an overcoming personally and collectively of frequency distortions that was like particularly up right now. Um, and they said it connected back to discernment and trusting your intuition. So there might be something that, say, looks on the outside like it's good, or in alignment or of high service, but energetically behind it, not so much. And they said the reverse can be true too. So this is part of what they were talking about with distortion. So the reverse being, it doesn't look so great on the outside, um, but actually there's something good to it, or something that would be in high service. So as we kind of work with our own energetic fields, which we have say over, um, and even though, yes, we are part of a collective and there are certain things that we don't have say over, the guides explain it as, well, you do have say over your own energy, and you can always make choices to stay clear, to stay centered, to call on your own light in your field. Um, yeah. So making choices that help us to stay clear. So we're really understanding when something presents itself. I'm like, what is the real energy behind it? And then how do we work with that or not, so that we're in alignment for us. Okay. Okay, so they were also talking about the importance for us to take a break in April. Surround yourself with goodness, with more joy, with good people. They're saying we all really need that. We need some nourishment. We need to be kind of lifted back up. And there is actually this energy of lightning, like a lifting up, a lightness that's coming in. And but they're saying that we could choose to not receive it easily. It's not going to be like an overwhelming, everything is great type of resolution energy, but it's more of an opportunity to choose that in your life. So it felt like what they wanted to bring attention to was, yeah, choose it. What way can you bring more lightness in, more joy? Where can you feed the good? And remember that actually is the most powerful force, not the darkness, not the suffering, not the harm, not that energy. Those energies, mm, they're not. We have to acknowledge them. We have to work with them. We don't want to just pretend that they don't exist. However, what is like central, we can't get so caught up in tending to um, the distortions and etc., that we lose our center, what really matters and what we're really here to do, embody, be. Um, so how can you find some lightness in the month of April? Find some joy, take a break, just pull back from kind of the heaviness, the density, the drama, the grief even. Give yourself a break. Um, give yourself a break from trying to figure things out or make things work. How can you work it in? And they say that there's always ways. So um, don't let your mind go too heavy on that. I can't. Just be open to what way might be there for you. Um, so they were also talking about building off on this. the dynamic of serious versus play, um, lightness versus depth. And they didn't say too much more about this, but basically we're saying that both were important. Being serious is important, and being playful and light is important. Being serious and deep is important. And showing them as being able to coexist together. And um, they did bring some particular attention to the lightness side, that many more people need some lightness in their field and in their lives, because things have been tough with all the transformation that's happened, with all that's going on in our worlds, and mm, it's been tough. Yeah. So remembering that, mm, it doesn't take our access away from the lightness. It doesn't take our access away from play. And we can call that in by just leaning a little bit in that direction, by making a choice. And they emphasize too, play can look many ways, uh, and that it's not the same as um, escape. It's And the same thing with taking a break. It's not the same as escape. It's just creating more spaciousness, actually, which is wholesome. So it's not unaware. Um, it's it's more so a remembering of, hey, these forces are important too. It's important to go into the cave and take a rest. It's important to play, to make jokes and laugh, and experience the celebration and the joy of life too. Maybe especially so when things are tough. Um, okay. So this last piece here, um, essentially was to trust the movements of life and trust your place in life. They say when we're going through um, these times of transformation, hmm, they're not part of the energy of transformation. It takes us into these really deep places. So we could get caught up in quote unquote dark places, using quote unquotes, because I guess I don't see dark as bad necessarily. Um, Dark is good for us sometimes. We need to go into the quiet, into the medicine of the dark. But in this context, I mean more of the distorted, separating, devolving unawareness, the lack of consciousness type of energy. So we can get a little stuck in that in the process of transformation, because it calls us to work with that, to go to those places, to actually to grow, to come further into our light, to call our light further into our being. And um, what the guides were sharing was this, like, trust the movement of life, and as a way not to get caught in those pockets in transformation where you could kind of just sit there for a while. Um, and feel maybe like you don't have a place, or just feel there could be grief or desperation or the anger, or just something doesn't feel quite aligned, quite right, or it's like, what's going on here? Um, Maybe things are falling away that you didn't expect, or things aren't progressing in the way that you expected in your life. Uh, so the guides are saying, even if you feel like you're not heading in the right direction or you feel like you're losing something, um, bring your focus to finding peace and finding that place of centered clarity, presence. And one of the ways that might help you get there is kind of trusting the movement of life. Like nothing, you can't be in the wrong place. There is a right place for you to be and a right way for you to be and alignment for you to find. Uh, and then it came back to energetic clarity too, because it helps us to trust life movements, which might be surprising. It might feel like, hey, that's not the direction I want to go. Um, But when we have energetic clarity, we might have a sense of peace of, okay, it looks like I'm, from what I see just in the surface, this isn't what I want. But what I feel inside of me is that just taking a little lean in this direction or a step in this direction, I actually am going towards what I want. Um, and what feels right, what feels like it's bringing me towards the higher good, to embodying more light. So when we have that energetic clarity, that trust is built up. We can lean into that and we have more of an understanding about which direction to go. And we're not in that space of like, I don't know, here, there, nothing seems right. And we can trust ourselves. We can trust the information we're getting from ourselves, so the capacity of our mind and our heart's wisdom coming forward. And the movements that are happening that feel like we didn't want or we didn't initiate, we can trust our relationship with them and what we need to do in response, or what we need to do for ourselves or for truly creating that higher good. So they're like, there's a lot moving around. Don't get caught in those pockets. Just keep letting the energy flow and get clear on just the next step, and trust that you'll be brought in the right direction. And whatever you're feeling that maybe doesn't feel like the right direction, allow it to move, allow it to breathe, allow it to evolve over time. It might show you something really valuable. Okay. So I think that is all for today. Um, 1 second. Gail, I just wanted to check in with you here. Would you like me to pull a card for you today?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Is there anything in particular that you want to look at?
Well, gosh, your reading was perfect for me. Can you
Glad to
hear
hear
me?
that. Yeah, I
Oh,
can
you
hear
can
you.
hear me. Oh, it's
Yeah.
just amazing. I all of a sudden I got the alert that this was starting, and I've always wanted to join, and I finally did. Going through a challenging times, really kind of confirming everything I know, but need to stay focused. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's an amazing reading for me.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear that. And thank you for coming today. I'm glad you could make it and brought your energy. Um, it affects what comes through when you're here. So I appreciate that. Um, okay, well, yeah, let me just pull a card for you and just leave it open, see if there's anything else. Okay, so what I pulled was Divine Talents, which is really lovely. And as I was pulling it, I just want to share, I don't know if I have too much time to dive deep into it, but I was seeing this woman in spirit that felt like mom or grandma who feels close and around you and just smiling upon you. Felt like a lot of love. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, I just wanted to share that. Okay, let me read you what this is here. And I won't, these are long descriptions, so I won't read you the full, but I can send that to you later as a message. It says, you are a talented soul. Over many lifetimes, you have developed your spiritual abilities to channel higher awareness, attract healing energy, and radiate light to uplift the consciousness of those around you. Your divine talents are many and uniquely expressed through you. Your talents do not have to resemble those of another to have their own inestimable value. Do not be afraid to use them. Divine talents are a way in which the universe reminds us of what we are here to do. Divine talents are unlimited, and they include the ability to channel spiritual guidance and healing energy to perceive clairvoyantly and be psychic and empathic. Other spiritual talents are the ability to release earthbound spirits, earth healing techniques, such as working with energy grids, as well as healing ability with crystals, many and varied technologies of light. There are other spiritual talents too. These include writing, performing, sound healing, dancing to awaken awareness, creating art, photography, or divinely inspired tools and jewelry, cooking food that heals the body and spirit, or brings people together, to offering comforting and inspiring words at the right time to help others overcome fear and feel more at peace in moments of importance, and much more. You could use your divine talents in your career as a healer, in your work in the corporate world, or in your stay-at-home role as a parent, helping to raise more conscious, secure, and empowered children in a world that is in desperate need of strong, spiritually grounded leaders for the future. Okay, I'm just gonna skip a little bit forward. This oracle comes to you with a message. You have spiritual talents, some of which have been developed in other lifetimes and will simply and suddenly spring back to life as if from out of the blue in this lifetime. Others need a little more attention, patience, and effort to be brought to life in the world. This is particularly the case for you at this time if you have also drawn, oh, a different card, past life activation. Okay. Um, okay, so I'll pause with that. And yeah, I mean, what I see in that, I don't know if this resonates for you, but I feel this, just this clear, motherly, caring uh, gift that you have and access to caring for others, bringing them together. Um, and there's like a real clarity to it.
Mm.
And that could mean sometimes that clarity, when I see that, it could mean working with crystals, actually. Doesn't have to, though. Um, yeah, do you understand that? Are you practicing anything of that sort with your divine talents?
Yeah, well, I would have done Reiki 1 and 2, and that was years ago, and I kind of been drawn thinking of that the last few days doing Reiki, getting um working with this lady again just to, to get back into it. And
Yeah.
I taught yoga the last 10 years and it's fallen.
Yeah, so maybe
So
something open
I'm
there,
almost
just
ready.
go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, Reiki and then crystal. I have some right in front of me actually. Um, I've been writing everything you've been saying, and um, I love dancing, walking in nature. Sound healing. This lady does sound healing. I was drawn to have something done, where her work on me and get into that more. I don't know if you see anything else.
Well, what I see is, hmm, I don't know, your heart stands out to me. Just feel this, whatever it is your heart desires in any direction would be helpful. But connecting to practices, anything you mentioned would be fine, that feel nourishing. Um, they build you up and they give
Mm-hmm.
you that clarity. I keep getting the word clarity and building you up. Um, I feel like who you are naturally comes out in all of the ways that you mentioned and more. Um, and your guides are wanting you to just stay connected to that. Uh, because if some of those practices start to fall to the wayside or you're doing them less, um, they show to me like I almost see your head start to go down, like you get a little de-energized. It's maybe not the best
Yeah.
word to use. Um, and they're saying just have touch points so you can do any of those practices to help yourself feel strong. Because when you're aligned, like they just show me really radiant and shining, and just anyone you interact with really benefits from interacting with you. Um, and also just this piece around your sensitivity and caring for that, and maybe not interacting with abrasive forces or
Mm-hmm.
people or
Yeah.
situations. Like really take care of that sensitivity in that part of yourself. It needs like really, the calming, the nourishing practices, and maybe sometimes like a few boundaries, or just loving boundaries. Like, no, we're not going to do that today, or I'm not going to go there, or I don't want to have that conversation. Thank you.
Bingo
Um,
on that one. That's my challenge right now.
yeah, yeah,
Boundaries is on my list to focus on. Yeah. Take care of myself, nourish myself. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just when you do, I just get this vision, and I think I said it, but you just look so bright and shiny, and that's where your soul's pulling you. Like, stay here. So do those things, create the boundaries, say no when you need to, lean into those good self-nourishing care practices so that you can allow yourself to be there, be in your fullness. Um, yeah, you got it. I think they say that you're doing a good job navigating. Just keep it up and trust yourself. Just trust
Thank
yourself.
you. Navigating, that's the word. Navigating. I'm working on my heart chakra a lot, sending love to people. I'm taking some
Mhm.
class.
Thank you for doing that. I can
And
feel that. Beautiful.
thank you. I just feel like I'm here. I just want to spread light, and I wanted to be a life coach years ago to just inspire people on Facebook. I'll put posts on there. Even if I'm feeling bad, I
Mm.
do it because it makes me feel better. But
Yeah, you call upon the light through you.
yeah, I think the lady you saw was my
Yeah.
great aunt. I have a picture of her smiling, and she's a sweet lady. She passed over a while back.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was who I thought.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Your
you.
message was right on spot for me.
Glad
Oh,
to hear that. Yeah. Sending you lots of love and blessings, and thank you for coming today. Fun to read for you.
thank you
Um,
so much. Thank you.
let's see here. So I guess in closing, just want to thank everyone else who's tuned in today. Thank you, Gail, for being willing to um, be in the recording here and be read. Appreciate you. Um, I hope everyone has a beautiful and blessed April. If there's anything that stands out to you as you um, move through April that came up here today, reach out. I really love to hear your stories and appreciate those that have sent them. And yeah, many blessings, lots of love, and talk to you next time.